Today we're going to have a look at the potential negative or difficult implications that social media can have on how we are, our mental health, our emotional well-being, and we will balance that out by next week looking at the potential positive impacts that it has. But today we're going to focus on what can be difficult or unhealthy about it. Studies are showing us that there is a link between heavy or substantial social media use and depression, anxiety, self-harm, and even suicidal thoughts. Now, what the studies kind of categorize as heavy or substantial social media use is generally sort of 4 hours plus of social media use a day. Now, you may think that that seems an absolutely incredible amount, but actually if you track the amount of time that you use social media each day, you might be surprised by how much that adds up to. And it isn't just heavy social media use which can cause negative impacts, it's any use. But the studies are showing us that that real heavy use, that unhealthy amount of time spent on social media can have really detrimental impacts on us. So if you're spending a vast amount of time on social media every day, that is time that you're then not spending face-to-face interacting with people. And that can lead to feelings of isolation. If you are connecting with people by just watching their lives rather than actually interacting with them, then that is going to cause us to feel isolated. We're going to lose the ability to engage with and relate to people face-to-face. And two potential negative impacts that actually are linked are this sense of feeling inadequate. So this sense of comparing ourselves to other people all the time. Everybody else's lives look perfect on social media. Everybody looks perfect on social media. Why don't I look like that? Why aren't I happy? Why don't I have the perfect relationship or the perfectly behaved child? So this constant comparison with others leaves us feeling inadequate, leaves us feeling that our lives are not as good, not as fulfilling. But the opposite part of that is, interestingly, this unhealthy level of self-absorption. So if we are constantly or quite regularly posting selfies, pictures of ourselves, things that we are doing, assuming actually that everybody who follows us on social media wants to see that every day, it can create an unhealthy level of self-centeredness. It can create a fear of missing out. So you see other people doing things, what seems like all the time, and actually maybe you're not doing things all the time. Perhaps you see that your friend has gone to do something with another friend and they didn't ask you to go along. So previously we just wouldn't have had this information. We just wouldn't have known that it was going on. And actually, not knowing sometimes feels nicer for us. Being able to see that people are doing things without you can create really difficult feelings, and it can be difficult to forget that actually we do things without other people sometimes. If you're using social media late into the evening or before you go to bed, then it's likely going to disrupt your sleep. And it can do this in two ways. So firstly, the light from your phone or your tablet, whichever device you're using, interrupts your sleep patterns in the brain. But also, if you are stimulated that close to bed, if you see something that causes a certain difficult feeling in you, then it's going to be difficult to tell your brain to switch off, to relax, and to go to sleep. And then there's the potential for cyberbullying or trolling. So about 10% of teenagers say that they have been or they are being bullied online on social media. So it creates this space for a constant bullying. Before we had social media use, if you were being bullied at school or at work, somewhere like that, then there would have to be a break. When you went home, the person would not be able to get to you. But that's not the case anymore. So you can always be contacted, you can always be reached online. So it gives bullies another way to get to you, and it gives you less of a break, it gives you less of a wind down. And if we're constantly being bombarded by something, we are not able to rebuild resilience between bullying acts. So just have a think, just be mindful perhaps this week when you're using social media, what feeling it actually leaves you with. If you are sat at home in the evenings next to your partner or a family member on the sofa and you're not connecting with each other, if you're both sat on your phones, on social media, just stop and think what that is about, that you would rather sit and look at other people's lives on your phone than engage in your own life. So just have a think about it, make it conscious, be mindful. Before you open the app, think, why am I doing this? What am I wanting to look at? And make it a mindful choice.